World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. The United States and Ukraine have signed a major minerals and reconstruction deal, marking a key step in their ongoing partnership amid Russia's war in Ukraine. Signed in Washington, the agreement gives the U.S. preferential access to Ukraine's valuable rare earth minerals, resources critical for defense, electronics, and energy, while also establishing a joint investment fund for Ukraine's rebuilding. Ukraine's first Deputy Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko says the deal ensures that Ukraine maintains ownership of its natural resources and won't incur debt for U.S. contributions. It also aligns with Ukraine's EU membership goals. The deal, strongly backed by U.S. President Donald Trump, reflects his push for returns on U.S. aid and could reshape the U.S. approach to post-war support. However, it offers no new security guarantees for Ukraine, something Kyiv had hoped for. The U.S. remains Ukraine's largest military donor since Russia's 2022 invasion, with more than $72 billion in support. In our news, tensions are rising in the Middle East as U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a sharp warning to Iran over its support for Yemen's Houthi rebels. In a post on social media, Hegseth said Iran would face consequences for backing the Houthis, who have launched attacks on ships passing through the Red Sea. The warning comes as Washington and Tehran prepare for a new round of indirect nuclear talks this weekend in Rome, aimed at curbing Iran's nuclear ambitions in exchange for easing U.S. sanctions. Despite diplomatic efforts, the Pentagon has boosted its military posture in the region, deploying B-2 bombers to Diego Garcia and positioning 2 aircraft carriers in Middle Eastern waters. U.S. airstrikes have hit over 1,000 Houthi-linked targets since March. Iran claims the Houthis act independently, but Washington isn't convinced. U.S. President Donald Trump also weighed in repeating his stance that Iran would be held accountable if diplomacy fails. More news overseas. The United Nations is calling for an urgent investigation into alleged mass executions and disappearances in Mali after dozens of decomposing bodies were discovered near a military camp earlier this month. UN human rights experts say the reported killings may amount to war crimes, while the disappearances could qualify as crimes against humanity. The bodies were found near the Kuala military camp in Mali's Kolikoro region, raising alarm among rights groups. An ethnic Fulani association says those killed were among over 60 people detained by the Malian army during operations in the village of Sebabogu on April 12. While some were released, the rest, mostly ethnic Fulani, remain unaccounted for. The UN says unconfirmed reports suggest detainees were tortured and executed after being moved to the camp. Mali's military government, which has distanced itself from Western forces in line with Russian paramilitary groups, has not commented directly on the accusations. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, I am Peñano. Good day.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.